Hello, hello. Um, Hi, everyone. I'm happy to be here. I haven't been, I've been so busy that I haven't been as active in the group. And today, I was like, I have to share this that I've been getting about marriage and about, what I've been discovering lately. And what I literally have discovered to be the biggest secret in, having a fulfilling and happy marriage. Oh, hello. Don't pay attention. That's my husband. If you're here, please say hello. Do a little wave so I know who's listening and who's here. Just comment and say hi. Hi, Kelly. So good to see you. And yeah, I want to know who I'm talking to. Thank you. My husband is in the background. Um, Not anymore because he moved the camera, but so I'm just gonna dive right in and hi Holly, hi Jennifer, so good to see you all. Thank you so much for being here. Hi Olga. So as I was mentioning, we are moving on Monday, so it's been a little crazy. So I haven't been as active in the group. However, I've been getting these messages and about marriage and relationships, and I really wanted to share it with all of you because I've been doing this work. I'll share a little bit about myself for those of you who don't know me. I'm a marriage coach, and my passion and what I dedicated my life to is to really empower women. I mean, I've been empowering women for years and years, but after kind of going through my own story, I dedicated my life to really empowering women in their marriages and in their relationships. And my approach to that is really empowering women to be themselves, to follow, their heart and their intuition and who they are, because that is the key in a relationship. And that's what I do is to help women find the joy in their marriages. So, and just to give you like a little bit of background about my story, I got married 8 years ago. We actually just celebrated our anniversary to a really amazing man, and we had two beautiful children, a beautiful home. We used to live in LA, and life was kind of like quote unquote looked perfect. But something inside of me was missing, and I felt like is this it? Is this the fairy tale that I imagined my whole life? And that's when I started really like digging really deep and doing a lot of personal development work, a lot of spiritual healings, and doing all kinds of stuff, because I was feeling like all of the day-to-day things, like I just felt like I was in a rut, like all that I was doing in my life was like cooking, cleaning, laundry, working, taking care of the kids, and then all over again. And I just, not that I was unhappy, but there was like something missing. So after I started digging deeper and deeper and working with coaches and doing all of the work on myself, um, I discovered a lot about myself. But this kind of like this thing, which I think is the biggest thing that I discovered, that in order to really be happy in any relationship, but especially inside your marriage, it's pretty simple. It's not an easy practice, but it's very simple to understand it. And what it is to really find your own personal joy, okay? And to really make it a priority to feel good in your life. So that's the secret. But I'm going to talk a little bit more about that, because you might be thinking, well, like I'm already, a happy person, or Or you might be thinking, no, like, how the hell do I feel joy when, I'm always exhausted? I don't know where you're at. And maybe, in the comments, share with me, where are you at? Are you feeling joyful in your marriage? Are you feeling joyful in your life? Or are you kind of like surviving the day-to-day tasks and, just finding the little joys when you like go on vacation, or, you play with your kids or whatever, like the in between? Because this is what happened to me. I was, in an amazing partnership with my husband, with my kids and everything. But like, I didn't feel that joy and aliveness in my life. I felt like there was just like this survival. Like, I would wake up and I was just surviving all of the things that I had to do in my day. So I'm going to talk more about this concept of really finding joy and feeling good, because it's a lot deeper than what it sounds, and it's really simple, but it's a lot deeper than what we think it is. So when I say to feel good and to find that joy, what I really mean is to create the context of joy in whatever you're doing and like whatever task you're doing. And there's multiple ways to do that. And I'm going to share the things that I do to bring that context into my life daily, because it is a practice. Okay. I'm not talking about like feeling this happiness, even if something, really difficult is going on. I'm not telling you to feel happy if, you're going through something and you have to suppress these feelings of sadness or anger. That's not the joy that I'm talking about. The joy that I'm talking about is really like finding that whatever makes your soul and your spirit really like feel fulfilled. So I want to hear from you guys. Can you just, I'm seeing Holly is writing tired because the kids at school and after school. Hi, Amy. Hi, Anya and Inessa. So just because I want to make sure that whatever I'm sharing with you is landing over there with you guys. So just post, are you with me? Are you feeling joyful in your relationship right now? Or are you like exhausted and feeling like you're surviving? Because most women that I talk to, they're feeling like they're just surviving their days and surviving, all the to-dos and all the tasks. And then when they're with their husbands, their partners, whatever, they are not feeling expressed in themselves. So they are feeling resentful. And I was feeling like that for a really long time, because I was so caught up in all of the to-dos and I was surviving so much of, like the basic mundane things, that when it came time to be with my husband, I felt resentful with him. I felt like, even when he would go to work, I was like, you get to do something that you want to do and I don't. And what I realized, like, I wasn't making feeling joyful and feeling good, my responsibility. So when I got that, I started making it a priority. I started writing down a list of things that actually made me feel good. And it was like basic things. So for me, having a morning routine was a huge thing. Like when I would wake up before my kids would wake up, and I would find that time to have, time by myself, to meditate, to read, to do something for myself, and I made that a priority in the morning, my days would be completely different. So that was one of the things. Then when I exercise and when I work out, I really feel good about myself and I feel joyful in my day. So I wrote that down. Listening to music was another thing that, was really helpful for me to feel joy. So I wrote that down. Being with my girlfriends and spending time with other women. Actually, it wasn't just girlfriends. It was just like being around other women made me feel really good. So I wrote that down. What are some things that you guys, in your life that help you feel really good about yourself? that like bring a lot of joy in your life. That doesn't include your kids or even your husband. Like, what are things that you can do for yourself? I want you guys to just comment, because we can kind of talk about that. So how this works in your relationship, okay? When you start really finding those things that bring you joy. So actually, I'm going to back up for a minute, because here's what I discovered, and here's what I'm discovering more and more, the more women I talk to and coach, is what happens to a lot of us, especially when we become moms. So we, before we get married, before we have a family, we are like, expressing ourselves. Usually we're looking for like, what do we want to do with our life? What's our expression like creatively? We're following this like creative expression as a woman, this feminine, beautiful power that we all have. But then what happens is we get married, some of us have kids, and then all of a sudden we start limiting all of these expressions that we naturally want to express. And we get into like the to-do lists, and we step out of that feminine, expressive energy that we all naturally need to express. And we step into this masculine energy of like doing stuff around the house, getting stuff done, driving the kids, taking care of the house, yada, yada, yada. So slowly we kill off this natural expression of joy that we have. And when I talk about like the feminine energy or joy, it's all kind of the same thing, because when we're in our natural expression, we feel joyful. So anyway, so it gets killed off. And that's what started happening to me after I got, married and had some babies. I didn't even realize it, that like I wasn't doing all of the things. And it's not just the doing is more of an expression, but I wasn't honoring myself and expressing that, natural, joyful feeling that I have inside of me to do things. So what are some things that you ladies are seeing that you killed off once you got married? And how is that showing up in your relationship? So for me, I shared a little bit about like how it started showing up is I started resenting my husband. And then I also start resenting my kids. And I still do it. Like the days that I don't choose to, kind of follow that, that place that brings me joy, I resent the kids. I resent my husband. I beat myself up. I'm like not feeling good. And there is an impact on my, in my relationship, a really big impact. Because by the time I'm with my husband, like I'm not happy, and there's a reflection on him. And I'm not saying that just because you feel joy, then, everything is going to be like perfect in your marriage, because obviously he's also 100% responsible for being in the relationship. But what I'm saying is the part that you can be responsible for, and how you can actually, start transforming your relationship without having him change or do anything. And how you can be responsible for feeling good in your marriage. So when I started shifting that, and when I started making, feeling joyful and really doing things that help me feel good, and making that my priority, it was incredible what happened in my relationship and at my, with my kids, with my husband. And, every day it's a practice, but it's a practice that I see like the days that I don't make it a priority, like my marriage doesn't work, and, my relationship with my kids doesn't work. But when I put myself first, not like in a selfish way, but when I make it a priority so I can be the kind of mom and the kind of wife and the kind of person I want to be, when I make that a priority and take care of myself, everything changes. And it's almost like, when I started seeing the difference that it makes, it's almost like when I don't make myself a priority and feeling joyful a priority, then I realized that like I'm taking myself away from my family. Like I'm not able to be present with them. I'm not able to love them in the way that I want to love them. I'm not able to be myself. There's like a part of me that's missing. So so that's, you know, what I wanted to share with you today. And I also, to move forward, and I want to just take a moment to read some comments because, so surviving under pressure because we're moving next month too. And I'm the one overlooking construction and remodeling because husband is busy with work and school. Yeah, I totally get that. And you know, when you have a bunch of circumstances, you're always going to have circumstances, okay? We're always going to have something where, you know, we can feel under pressure. And you know, my take on it is like right now we're moving and it's amazing because I'm actually like asking myself every morning, how can I bring that joyful, feeling good commitment into, you know, the stressful packing and moving and whatever. So I'm starting to, you know, I'm starting my day usually with like meditating and taking time for myself, exercise. Like I haven't been able to exercise for, I don't know, 3 days. And today I was like, that's it. Like no matter what, I don't care if, you know, the house is falling apart. Like I have to do it so I can actually be, you know, strong and have energy to pack and move and all that. Then you know, I'll put music on in the morning, or like when I'm packing I just put music on because that connects me to that like feminine energy and to feeling good. So my question to you, Olga, and like all of you, what are those things for you? Write them down. Make sure that you can schedule at least like 3 things in your day, even if it's, you know, taking a 5-minute break in between the crazy, but that you can schedule those things into your day, so you can actually connect with yourself. Because when you feel disconnected from yourself, you can't have a marriage or relationship that works, because you can't connect with any other human being if you're disconnected from yourself. So so that's where, you know, this whole talk about self-care, it's not about, you know, going and getting your nails done or going to massage, even though those things are amazing too, but it's about really you connecting to yourself, you honoring yourself, really asking yourself every single day when you wake up, like, how am I going to feel good today? You know, even when you're in those survival tasks of, you know, cleaning or doing laundry or whatever you're doing that you might not enjoy, you accept that you have to do them. And then you ask yourself, how am I going to feel joy and feel good while I'm doing this? You know, how can you bring that context into everything you're doing? So I want you guys to comment, how can you bring that context of feeling joy and feeling good into the mundane, like everyday tasks that you have to do? And then another question I want to ask you is like, what can you cut out from your day to day? What are some distractions that you have in your life that can be cut out, and you can bring, you know, that experience of feeling good and feeling joy instead of the distractions? So, you know, for me, one of the things I realized is like I was spending too much time on, you know, on Facebook, like reading other people's stuff, and it wasn't making me feel good. You know, there's like a sense of comparison or whatever. So what I had to discipline myself is like, I'm not gonna go and like be on Facebook. I mean, I go on Facebook so I can share stuff. And what I realized, like, I'm only gonna share things that are valuable, and you know, connect with other men and women so we can kind of, you know, connect and bring value into each other's lives, rather than just, you know, blindlessly reading random stuff, because every time I did that, it didn't feel joyful. So so it's also just bringing that intentionality into whatever you're doing, and really identifying and being conscious of like, is this bringing me joy or not? And yeah, and really committing, you know, to feeling good. And then if there are things that aren't bringing you joy, Is it something that you can outsource, that you can have someone else do, that you can ask your partner, to help you with, or whatever? Like, we women, I think we think so much of the time that we have to be like super women and we have to do it all, and we have to, have our kids signed up for like 100 activities and take them everywhere and blah blah blah. And like, if it doesn't bring you joy, then who cares? Like, who cares if they're, taking all the different classes? Like, if you, at the end of the day, after driving them around to all of the activities, are not, fun to be around, and it's costing you your marriage and your relationship with your kids, think about it. Is it really worth it? Like, simplify. Make sure that whatever activities that you're, signing up for, that you actually can bring that joy into those activities. And I promise you, if you make that a priority every day, like, your relationship will start transforming. It's a reflection of like who you are, is a reflection on everything that you do in life. And once you start falling in love with yourself and like with what you're up to, you start falling in love with everybody around you, including your husband and your kids. And like, it's just like, wow, they're not an inconvenience. They're not something to survive anymore. They also show up as, an opportunity for you to connect with them and to feel joy with. So, do you guys have any questions? Amy is writing, I generally feel joy, but I can easily be brought down by negative emotions of my boyfriend and sometimes my boys. I totally get this. So I want to touch on that, because it's really easy, especially I think if you're sensitive, and women, a lot of us are, to other people's energy. It's really easy to be brought down if somebody else is negative. And, we often think like we have to be around those people. And if you are experiencing your partner is, in a negative state, or he's having a rough day, like, when you're actually feeling joy, you can be a space for him and have it be okay for him to be however he's being, and have it be okay even for your kids to be however they're being. And you don't have to be around them. Like, you can go and do your own thing. And it's hard. I know that, I think for me, I think like it's my responsibility to make everybody else happy. And, if my husband is in a bad mood, like, it's my responsibility, and he has to change his mood, and my kids, they have to be happy. And I had to learn over the years that no, it's not my job. And, if he is going through something, I can just be a space for him of joy and love and, whatever I'm committed to, which is feeling good. And not like, like, oh my God, you shouldn't be like that, but like a place of like compassion, and just keep holding that space. And a lot of times, when I am that, when I'm not making it wrong, like that he's being that way, or even with my kids, when I'm just like, look, I love you, whenever you're ready to come back, I'm here. They usually come back, And then the cool thing is, when I'm in a funky space and I'm feeling like upset or negative, or I'm having a bad day, he can be that too for me. And usually he is, because there's like a safe space, right? And we actually have that agreement. We talked about that. And, and we have that commitment with each other is, like, give each other space when we're in a funk or when we are feeling like down. And, some people like having that space and some people don't. So anyways, just a little share about that. Yeah. And it's, Amy, I know you're writing, I have to learn that too. And yeah, it is a practice. For me, like with my husband, and in the beginning, he would always tell me when he was down that he needs space. And he's very vocal. A lot of men won't even know that they need that. So I'm really lucky that he is conscious enough to know that he needs that. And it was hard for me to honor that, I was, you know, like I would take it personal. I would think like he needs space for me and he, you know, doesn't love me, doesn't care about, like, you know, whatever stories I made up. And what I had to learn is like, no, that's just how he operates when he's in a funk, right? For me, I need to talk through it. So like I need to call a girlfriend and I need to talk through it when I'm, you know, feeling negative or whatever. So also that's a great thing for you to identify is like when you are in, you know, in a funky place and you're not feeling that joy or you're not feeling good and you're feeling like crap, what is it that you need for you to you know, like kind of fill your cup? Because if you're still taking all these actions but you're feeling like crap, like the resistance of the actions is going to backfire, and you're going to keep surviving it. So my recommendation that if you're feeling like crap and you know you're still taking the actions, if you're able to stop so you can get back to feeling good and feeling joyful, that is like magic. You know, we think that we have all these responsibilities and we just have to keep going, which we do, but sometimes like just taking 5 or 10 minutes to really stop and doing something to kind of like, you know, shift yourself out of it is really magical. You know, even if it's like to go sit down on the couch and I don't know, do nothing, like don't check your phone, but just like be with yourself or go cry or whatever it is. I don't know. Listen to some music or a positive podcast or meditate, whatever that is. If you need to take that time, like that is something you have to do so you can get back to feeling good. Does anybody have any other questions before I sign off? Hi, Cynthia. Yes. Good. I'm glad that, yeah, Amy, I see you need to talk too. I think women, that's how we connect, is we talk. You know, men are not like that. Usually they just need some time to themselves. They need to process the stuff. For women, we process it through talking. So it's good to identify. Some women don't. Some women need alone time, or like for me, journaling is really big. So whatever it is to process this stuff, you know, go ahead and do that. And I promise you, when you take that time and you feel good and you feel joyful, everything shifts. Thank you so much for being here. After we're moving on Monday, so after that, I'm like going to be way more active in the group. And you know, if you ever have any questions, please post them in the comments. Also, if you want more support in your marriage and really like get one-on-one support, I have some amazing you know, offers right now. I have an 8-week coaching program where I work with women one-on-one and really identifying you know, where the transformation needs to happen in your marriage, because you know we all have different stories, and I'd love to support you. You can private message me and we can hop on a complimentary call and you know talk about where you need more help in your relationship. I'd love to support you. So have a beautiful week and I'll talk to you next week. Okay, bye.